We have Rick Morgan in the back with the first question.
Just for starters, a little bit of a scouting report. They're going to throw the ball all over the field. How much does that consume your attention, and what are you going to try and do to counter?
Wow. This will take the entire time, question and answer. Obviously, they've done a great job of moving the ball, period. They run the ball better, I think, than people give them credit for. And Bigelow, especially as he's a home run type of back, is a real powerful runner and has incredible top end speed, similar to some of the guys we have. He and B.J. Kelly were high school teammates in Fresno. And just their scheme is really good. You go back to wherever Sonny's been, they've done a great job of moving the ball and scoring points, and you think you have a pretty good idea of what they're going to do, and they always have a little wrinkle that fits their scheme that always presents a little bit of a problem. And for us, we need to continue to play team defense. Specifically to answer your question up front, we've got to put pressure on the passer with 3 guys, 4 guys, 5 guys, change things up. It's a young guy that hasn't played a lot of football. Obviously, our crowd will contribute a great part in that. This is his first road game, and we want him to be as uncomfortable as possible. But he's played great. He's been really mature, made great decisions with the ball, and they've scored points against everybody. Molly in the back.
What are some benefits and drawbacks to a bye week, and how did you spend the bye week?
The benefits, you can get some things healed up, maybe just bumps and bruises that have been lingering. A guy that may be limited if you're playing that Saturday. Hopefully, knock on wood, will be 100% the following week. If there's a negative, everybody involved in this are creatures of habit. The coaches, players, everybody likes you do this on Saturday, you do this on Sunday, Monday, this on Monday, this on Tuesday, and period. And so we tried to adapt our bye week this year a little bit differently than we have in the past. Coach Rad and I got together and just tried to use, last week, hopefully will contribute to some level of success somewhere down the road, 8, 9, 10 weeks from now. Hopefully our guys believe in what we did. They had an outstanding week. What we did was practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The players had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, which Sunday's our normal off day during the season. And then we just went into a quote unquote normal game week. So we've had 2 really good work days. Yesterday and today were really good practices. Happy with where we're at from that standpoint. And me personally, nothing real exciting. Saturday, watched a few games. Saw the flag football jamboree, Eugene flag football jamboree on Thursday night, which was outstanding. Craig Pinton's here, might be coach of the year. He's got an unbelievable squad. But so that was awesome to have a little more kid time. And the rest of the coaches did a great job out on the road recruiting. So everybody did something good.
Jake Zivin in the back.
You mentioned getting pressure on Jared Goff. Chip Kelly used to say you don't know what a quarterback you have in a quarterback until it's like a tea bag in water. Is this kind of like getting a tea bag in hot water in Goff his first time on the road in an atmosphere like this? And do you want to, I guess, get him in hot water as early as possible to see how he reacts?
Yes. It's tough to play quarterback. It's the toughest position in any sport. And there's the threat of, guys that look like Eric Armstead tackling you. And part of that is just our effort, how we run. And if we're rushing 3 guys and it seems like 4 or 5, then that's a great job, because now your coverage, you can mess with your coverage a little bit differently. But that's object A of any defense against any player that's any year in school. If the guy was a 5th-year senior, you'd still want to put pressure on him. But he's done a great job, and they do a really good job in their scheme of getting the ball out of his hands. They're not a 7-step drop, 5 progression read type of system. The ball's up and out, and that helps. Again, a younger guy build some confidence, get some rhythm, get the ball out of his hands.
Ryan in the front.
Mark, I'm not trying to jinx anything, but I think you guys are the only team that hasn't turned the ball over this year in the country. Can you just talk about how you guys emphasize that and what the practice philosophy is on that?
If you walked up to, Randy Johnson and it's in the bottom of the 9th and he's 0-2 count, perfect game. No, we can talk about the things that contribute to that, and that's something that we that's a big deal. You know, the ball, the turnover margin and scoring points off turnovers is the number one contributing factor to winning and losing, and that's the biggest stat in football. There's a couple more that are almost as important, that are weird, but turning the ball over and or not and scoring off of turnovers is key. And so we're going to keep hammering what we've been hammering for sure.
Ryan, I'm sorry, Andrew, I meant.
You've been around a lot of young quarterbacks in your coaching career, and you had a pretty good freshman, obviously, last year with Marcus. What do you see about Jared in this kind of first quarter of his season that has led to his success? Is it mechanical? Is he quick getting the ball out of his hands, or decision making? What's led to this success?
I think he's a really good player, and then he's in a great system for that kind of thing. They complete a lot of short, quick passes, whether it's the tight end, the screen game. They'll have a lot of, similar to us, they'll run a run play, but they'll kind of throw about a 7-yard out, which is sort of legal, which is, and I say that in admiration, and just get the ball out of his hands, making it simple. And then they've got a couple guys on the end. Treggs can go up and get it. They've got a couple of the guys that can really go up and get it and create big plays, outside. And so I think it's a nice marriage of a really skilled guy, and he's well coached.
Joey.
We were talking about with Coach Aliotti the amount of plays that Cal likes to run. Do you guys feel like because you already practice so fast, you have an advantage now game planning for a team like Cal's offense?
Hopefully they've run a lot of plays. They've run a lot more plays than we have, and but hopefully that's something that's just kind of built into our guys. Maybe it's just how we communicate or how we substitute, or we've seen guys snap the ball fast before, and that it's not going to make our guys instantly uncomfortable, which you can see them in some of these other games. There's teams that aren't lined up or aren't they're trying to substitute it maybe at the wrong time, but hopefully that's not something that throws us off too much.
Marcus has only been sacked, I think, twice this season. Do you attribute that more to his speed and athleticism or to the offensive line?
Just like anything, it's a combination, of passing efficiently. Everybody has to, the route runner has to be urgent in his depth, his angle, all the timing that goes into that. You have to protect it, in correlation with the depth of the route, and the quarterback has to make a great decision and throw it on time. And so that again is something that is attributed to everybody. There's certainly some times that we could protect a lot better, and he's used his athleticism, which is, that's okay. But we'd still like to protect a little bit better.
Rick.
That you saw a few of the games this last Saturday, and the Pac-12 as a conference had a very good non-conference results this year. They had their way with most of the other teams. In watching on Saturday, were you able to get a look around the conference, and going into conference play, what are your thoughts about the conference this year, and maybe who has surprised you that you've seen so far?
I'm a bad person to ask. I mean, yeah, when you watch the games, there was a lot of. You're just looking at from a totally different frame of reference. I'm looking at what can we get from this game to teach our guys to not have, not make that same mistake or something. It's not where do we lie in the, world of football rankings. And you know what I mean? Like I was watching I think we were talking about some of this the other day with the Marshall Virginia Tech game. There were a bunch of things. That was a 3 overtime game, and there was a bunch of unique situations that came up in that game, by virtue of being a triple overtime game, just a bunch of other situational stuff, new rule stuff. The targeting thing happened a few times, but the Pac-12 is an excellent conference, very, very deep, very diverse. A lot of newness to either systems. There's a couple teams in the conference that have completely changed their system, and then there's obviously a few new coaches that have changed. What was a system in place, and so it's certainly different and deep and very well coached.
Sean.
When is the last time that you think you guys have played someone that does run this tempo? What's the last opponent that you guys have faced that played us like this?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Arizona State is very similar. Who else would we have played last year? Dave, you have your stat sheet on you. I don't know, somebody in that realm, you know, of just get back on the ball and run something quickly. You know, hopefully that's not a huge issue for our guys. It's more of the substitution patterns. You know, you can't, if you and I are rotating in at nickel, we can't just say, hey, every 4 plays we're going. It's if there's a penalty, you're going, or if it's a change of possession, you're going, or if, you know, some odd circumstance, it just kind of, which our guys are used to doing.
Jake.
Nick, we're talking to Nick. He said that he was telling his defensive lineman to be like Chief in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and get his hands up. Do you have any literary references for your offensive guys?
They all simultaneously went, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. You can't even make like Michael Jordan references with our guys. They have no idea who they are. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. You always feel bad when you tell a joke referencing like the Brady Bunch or the Vacation movies because everybody's like, huh? I'd have to work on that. Dikembe Mutombo. Who's the modern day Dikembe? That's probably even too old.
Any other questions?
First One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest reference of the year. That's big.